Hello students, welcome back to a new video of Sunanda's tutorial. It is the part 7 video of Ecology chapter, and here we will discuss about the functions of the ecosystem. In my previous video I have discussed two functions of the ecosystem, and in this video I will discuss another function of an ecosystem. So let's start. Here we will discuss about the energy flow, how energy flow occur in an ecosystem. The chemical energy of food is the main source of energy required by all living organisms. We intake food and acquire our energy. This energy is transmitted to different trophic levels or next trophic levels along the food chain. This energy flow is based on two different laws of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only change from one form to another. So in food chain, from one trophic level the energy will be transmitted to the next trophic level. Next, the second law of thermodynamics states that energy is transferred. More and more of it is wasted. So energy is more energy wasted than the energy is transferred. Then during the process of energy flow, plant being the producer absorbs sunlight with the help of chloroplast, and a part of it is transferred to chemical energy by the process of photosynthesis. This energy is stored in various products. Then this stored energy will be passed on the primary consumer in the food chain, then followed by the secondary consumer. When these herbivores are consumed by carnivores, the first order consumer further degradation will occur. Finally, tertiary consumer consume the carnivores, again energy will be degraded. Thus energy flow is unidirectional in nature. That means here it is written that from sun the radiant energy is captured by the producer and they prepare the photosynthesis, and the energy in the form of chemical energy stored in the plant body. Some of it is utilized in their growth and respiration. Then the remaining or the net primary productivity will be passed on to the next trophic level, which is the herbivores. Then from the body of the herbivores, some ingested as the fecal matter or excretory product. After that, some energy is utilized for their growth and reproduction. Then some are again consumed by the carnivores. Then large carnivores will consume this carnivores. So in this way the energy is transferred. So during this transfer of energy, only 10% of the energy is transferred from the previous trophic level. So if producer have 100 energy, it will pass only 10 to the next level, that is herbivores. Then herbivores again pass 10% of energy to the next trophic level. So in this way the energy get reduced. Then finally tertiary consumer consume the carnivore, energy will be degraded, and this energy flow is unidirectional. Producer only produces the energy, then consumer get it, then from consumer or primary consumer to secondary consumer, then secondary consumer to tertiary consumer. So it is a unidirectional flow. Based on the source of the nutrition or food, organisms occupy a specific place in food chain is known as trophic level. At first, in the first trophic level, producers are present. Then second trophic level where the primary consumer, then secondary consumer, then tertiary consumer. These levels are trophic levels. Producers belong to the first trophic level. Herbivorous primary consumer to the second, and carnivorous third trophic levels. Then what is standing crop and standing state? Standing crop is defined as the biomass of living material in an ecosystem at a particular time. At a particular time, how much living material is present in an ecosystem at a particular time is known as the standing crop. And what is standing state? It is defined as the amount of inorganic nutrients present in an ecosystem. Then what is 10% law? The 10% law of energy of ecosystem was proposed by the scientist Raymond Lindman. He proposed this theory, and according to him, only 10% of energy in a food chain out of total energy is transferred from one trophic level to another. The rest of the energy is utilized by the metabolic process, and some are released as heat. That means producer produces some energy of photosynthesis by the process of photosynthesis. Some are utilized for their growth and reproduction. Some are released as heat in the process of respiration. Then from the remaining energy, only 10% will pass on to the next trophic level or primary consumer. Then from primary consumer, some utilized for their growth and reproduction, and some also released in the process of respiration. Then only 10% of the remaining will be passed on to the secondary consumer, and then from the secondary consumer only 10% will be passed on to the tertiary consumer. So in this way the energy flow occur, and this whole theory is known as 10% law, or this law is known as 10% law, which was proposed by Raymond Lindman. Next, what is food chain? The transfer of food from producer through a series of organisms, herbivores, then primary carnivore, then secondary carnivore, then tertiary carnivore or omnivore. So in this way the flow of energy in a series with repeated eating and being eaten is known as food chain. Types of food chain: there are two types of food chain. One is grazing food chain. It begins with the producer, which is the green plant, that capture the sunlight or solar energy and through photosynthesis feeds the energy into the food chain. Then another one is detritus food chain. It begins with the dead organic matter and decomposers, for example bacteria and fungi. After the death of the animals or any parts of the plant, these decomposers degrade those material, and they are known as the decomposers of the environment or saprotrophs, and generally they are bacteria and fungi, and they are the part of detritus food chain. Then what is food web? Simple food chains are very rare in nature because each organism may obtain food from more than one trophic level. Thus, in an ecosystem, the various food chains are interconnected. A food web illustrates all possible transfer of energy. That means grass may be eaten by the grasshopper, maybe by the rabbit, and rabbit may be eaten by the wolf, or snakes, maybe the reptiles may be eaten by the snakes. So in this way, these food chains are very interconnected with each other. They are not always straight. So this type of interconnected food chains is known as the food web. Food web illustrates all the possible transfer of energy and nutrient among organisms in an ecosystem, whereas food chain traces only one pathway. Food chain is a straight pathway. This organism will be eaten by this, then this will be eaten by this, and this will be eaten by this. Khatam. So it is a simple food chain. But in food web, there are many interconnected food chains. Food webs are very important in maintaining the stability of an ecosystem. Then what is ecological pyramid? An ecological pyramid is a graphical representation of a relationship between different organisms at different trophic levels. Charles Elton in 1927 developed this concept of ecological pyramid. So suppose this is the producer, it is the bottommost trophic level, then the primary consumer, then the secondary consumer, then the tertiary consumer. So it is a graph like manner of representation. How much producers are present in an ecosystem, how much primary consumer, then how much secondary consumer, then how many tertiary consumer. It is a upright ecological pyramid. I have drawn a upright ecological pyramid, but sometimes it is inverted also, like this. That means producers are this much producer, then primary consumer, then secondary consumer, then tertiary consumers are more than that. So it is a inverted type of ecological pyramid. Suppose producers are very less in number, and primary consumers are more in number, then secondary consumer are more in number than the primary consumer. So in this way the inverted ecological pyramid is represented. So this type of graphic representation of different trophic levels of an ecosystem is called as ecological pyramid. This idea was first developed by Charles Elton in 1927. Then types of ecological pyramid. There are generally three types of ecological pyramid. One is pyramid of number, one is pyramid of biomass, the last one is pyramid of energy. What is pyramid of number? In this type of ecological pyramid, the number of organisms at each trophic level is considered as level in the pyramid. Suppose it is the pyramid of number of grassland ecosystem. Here the number of herbs or grasses present, then the herbivores, number of herbivores, then the organisms which eat the primary consumer, then the tertiary consumer. So it is the pyramid of number of a grassland ecosystem, and it is upright ecological pyramid. Here the number of organisms present at different trophic levels is considered. Then pyramid of number of grassland is upright. It in pond ecosystem, the number of organism decreases gradually from first trophic level to the last trophic level. The pyramid of pond ecosystem is upright too. Then in forest ecosystem, the shape of pyramid is rhomboidal, like this. In forest ecosystem, the ecosystem or food chain begins with the tree species or large tree species, and then generally their numbers are small or less than the herbivorous, number of herbivorous. Then the primary consumers are herbivorous, which eat the plants. Then the carnivorous or secondary consumer numbers are again less, and the tertiary consumer number is again less. So it is a rhomboidal type. It is a very specific type of ecosystem structure or ecological pyramid of the forest ecosystem, or ecological pyramid of number of forest ecosystem is rhomboidal. It is a very important point because it is specific or exceptional case. So generally it comes in competitive exams. Then pyramid of biomass. Pyramid of biomass is representation of total living biomass or their weight or organic matter present at different trophic levels in an ecosystem. Suppose these are phytoplanktons. Biomass of phytoplanktons are less because they are small in size. Their weight are also less. Then the weight of the primary consumer, that means small fish, are slightly larger than the phytoplanktons or zooplanktons. Then the weight of the secondary consumer, that means the larger fishes, are slightly more than the primary consumer. Then the weight of the larger fishes which are present in tertiary consumer level have more weight. So in this way the pyramid of biomass of pond ecosystem is inverted, as this zooplankton and phytoplankton have very less weight, and it will go on increasing when the pyramid increases. Then in forest ecosystem and grassland ecosystem, pyramid of biomass is straight. The amount of biomass continues to decrease progressively from one trophic level of producer to last trophic level of carnivorous. In ponds, in case of ponds, it is very large, but their biomass is least of all, being very small in size. The amount of biomass continues increasing with primary, secondary, tertiary trophic levels. The biomass of fishes which are at the top of pyramid far exceeds the biomass of the producer. So it is inverted. So the pyramid of biomass of pond ecosystem is inverted. It is an exceptional case. So here it is, here I am given that diagram only, because these exceptional cases are generally comes in your exams. Then pyramid of energy, it is the most important type of pyramid, because this pyramid of energy is always upright, it is never will be the inverted. So the pyramid of energy is graphical representation, shows the energy accumulation at different in different trophic level of an ecosystem. It is always upright because producers always have more energy than the herbivores, and it will go on decreasing because only 10% of energy will be transferred to the next trophic level. So in this way the energy is always decreased. Energy is higher at the bottom of pyramid but gradually reduced as energy is used up by the organism at each trophic level, and it is more in producer, then less in primary consumer, again less in secondary consumer, and finally least in the tertiary consumer or omnivorous. So this is the pyramid of energy, which is always upright. So it is all about the flow of energy or energy flow, how energy flow in an ecosystem. In my next video I will discuss about the biogeochemical cycles and succession. So stay tuned and enjoy my videos like this, and please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.